Hey there, classic rock lovers, and welcome to Classic Reviews, where we review classic rock albums. And today we have an exciting treat for you. So get ready for an epic CD review, where we'll hopefully leave you craving to listen to this band. The CD we will be reviewing will be a greatest hits CD by the British rock band Status Quo, who are one of them bands that's been around forever. The band was formed by lead guitarist and lead singer Francis Rossi and bass player and singer Alan Lancaster in the 60s. But when you think of Status Quo, you think of the two guitar players, Francis Rossi and Rick Parfitt. The main man of the band, Francis Rossi, as of right now, is still recording and performing, but Rick Parfitt unfortunately passed away on Christmas Eve in 2016 from sepsis. This CD came out in March 2015, I think, and the non-chronological track listing ranges with songs from 1972 to 1986. So without further ado, let's start the track by track, and the opening track is called Whatever You Want. This song is off the album of the same name, which came out in October 1979, and this title track got to number 3 in the UK charts in 1979-1980. This song is one of Status Quo's signature songs, and it starts with a quieter melodic guitar intro, then it gradually builds up with one guitar riff in one key, then you add another riff in a different D key, and then the drums and vocals come in later. The second song of this CD is called Caroline. Unfortunately, I can't think of much to say about this song really. So this UK top 5 single is from the Hello album, which came out in September 1973. And this simple rocker was often used to open Status Quo concerts. And yes, it does contain the lyric Sweet Caroline. And you need to watch live performances of this song, as it really shows how much of a good rhythm player Rick Parfitt was. The third song on this CD is called Down Down. This three-chord advert jingle sounding song is actually the band's only UK number one, and that occurred in 1975. This song is from the On the Level album, which came out in February 1975, and I think the lyrics were originally aimed at or about Francis Ross's ex-wife at the time and the British press. The fourth song on this CD is the rock classic Rockin' All Over the World. This John Fogerty cover is off the album of the same name, which came out in November 1977. And this song, along with the song Whatever You Want, has to be Status Quo's signature song. The song opened the legendary Live Aid concert, and the band has redone and re-recorded this song multiple times. This catchy song features a chugging guitar riff with a great vocal to match, and it got to number 3 in the UK charts in 1977-78. For track number 5, we fast forward nearly 10 years for another Status Quo cover that's arguably better than the original, and it's called In the Army Now. This is the latest song of this CD, and like the previous song, this Bollard and Bolland cover is an album title track that's one of Status Quo's highest charting songs, peaking at number 2 in the UK charts in 1986-87. The album it's from came out in August 1986, and this song has been re-released in more recent times since. The song In the Army Now is more new wave than the typical boogie rock that Status Quo are known for, with the more modern production sound and the added synths. And I think the lyrics talk about the journey of joining the army, then realising how real it is and it's not like a holiday, etc. For song 6 on this CD, we go back 14 years to the Pole Driver album that came out in December 1972, and it's the song called Paper Plane. I think the Pole Driver album was Status Quo's first album where they transitioned from the psychedelic type music to the boogie rock band known for today. And the song Paper Plane, which is similar to the song Caroline I previously mentioned, was the only single released from the Pole Driver album, peaking at number 8 in the UK charts in about 1973. For track number 7 on this CD, we go forward now 8 years to October 1980 for the song called What You're Proposing, which is off the Just Supposing album. Can't think of too much to say about this song really. It's a fast and bouncy pop rock song that features some tight playing, and this catchy song got to number 2 in the UK charts in 1980. Track number 8 of this CD is called Roll Over Lay Down. This is the opening track from 1973's Hello album, and all of the band members at the time have a co-write credit on this song. This blues influenced track has to be one of the more underrated songs on this CD. You get the typical boogie rock mid-tempo playing in the rhythm section, while at the same time you get some bluesy lead guitar playing, vocals and lyrics. The last thing I could think of to say about this song is that it got to number 9 of the UK charts in 1975. Track number 9 is called Rain. This song got to number 7 in the UK charts in 1976, and I think it was the main single released for the Blue For You album, which came out in March 1976. This song is a heavy and catchy song featuring some great musicianship all round. That was both written and sung by Rick Parfitt. The only other thing I could think of to say about this song is that the song Rain was written for the previous On The Level album. Rick Parfitt just didn't complete the song in time. For track 10, we have the rather long titled Something About You Baby I Like. This song that Status Quo are covering was originally written by an American guitar player called Richard Super in the early 70s, and Tom Jones made it a UK Top 40 hit a few years later. Status Quo's cover was more inspired by Glenn Campbell and Rita Coolidge's cover of this song, which was a US Top 40 hit in 1980. So this fun-sounding song is from the Never Too Late album, which came out in March 1981. And Status Quo got this song to number 9 of the UK charts in 1981. And it's a song where both Francis Rossi and Rick Parfitt shared lead vocal duties. For track number 11, we go back to 1976's Blue For You album for its opening track, Is There a Better Way? Can't think of too much to say about this song really. It features bass player Alan Lancaster on lead vocals, and it's a faster and heavier song that's like a precursor to punk music, which came out about a year or two after this. So this song is kind of like pub rock meets punk. For track 12, we stay on the Blue For You album for the song Mystery Song. This is the closing song for the Blue For You album, and like with the song Rain, Mystery Song was both written and sung by Rick Parfitt, and it got to number 11 in the UK charts in 1976. This song starts off on the more slow and melodic side, before it bursts into a breakneck performance that's about a man's encounter with a prostitute. Track number 13 on this CD is the well-produced song Again and Again. This song got to number 13 in the UK chart, and it's the opening track from the If You Can't Stand the Heat album, which came out in October 1978. And I think this song, which features Rick Parfitt on lead vocals, was released purposely at the same time that Status Quo headlined the 1978 Reading Festival. Track number 14 is called Don't Waste My Time. This is the opening track on the Pole Driver album. So for a lot of people back in the day, this was the first Status Quo song they heard that's played in the shuffle style that the band are known for. I think this got released as a single in the US, and it's a song that grooves along nicely and features some brilliant guitar playing. The lyrics, I think, are complaining about a girl not taking a relationship seriously and messing around a lot. The third to last song on this greatest hit CD is another album opening track, and it's called Backwater. Not only does this track open the Quo album, which came out in May 1974, but it's also the last original Status Quo song on this greatest hit CD, and it features bass player Alan Lancaster on lead vocals. The song opens with a catchy enough riff, which then breaks down into slower paced chord arpeggio, and after that, you get the typical boogie quo. The second to last song on this CD is called Bye Bye Johnny. Again, I can't think of a lot to say about this song, but anyway. This upbeat tempo Chuck Berry cover closes the On The Level album, and the band with Alan Lancaster on lead vocals do a brilliant job of covering this Chuck Berry song that actually references his other songs. The final song on this CD is called Roadhouse Blues. This absolute classic is originally by The Doors, and while Alan Lancaster is no Jim Morrison, this is still a pretty good cover version, and Status Quo do make this cover their own by adding an extra verse with 3-part harmonies. While you get the studio recording from the Pile Driver album on this greatest hits CD, a lot of people prefer to listen to Status Quo's live performances of this song, where they go into lengthy jams and throw in parts of other songs, etc. The main thing to say about this song is that Roadhouse Blues is the reason that Status Quo became the band they are today. Before the band members heard this song, Status Quo were doing more psychedelic type music, But I think the story is that they were touring in Germany at the time and they heard the original Doors recording on a night out somewhere. The Status Quo were like, this would be a good base for future material, and they've basically stuck with that formula ever since. So, that's the track by track done, and this is a fun CD to listen to. It contains a lot of Status Quo's biggest hits. For me, my favourite parts of the CD are the first 6 songs and the last song, Roadhouse Blues. And I didn't realise how many of Status Quo's more successful songs were actually covers. And I also didn't realise that bass player Alan Lancaster done as much singing as he did, as when you think of Status Quo, you mainly think of lead guitarist Francis Rossi doing all the singing. A lot of people will probably say they should have included this song or that song, as they've had high charting songs for years, but with Status Quo being around for a very long time, trying to fit loads of songs in and choosing what songs to put on a single disc compilation must be quite the challenge. It's a shame with all these good and successful songs and that they've always been great live, that Status Quo didn't crack America. And my final thoughts on this CD are, like I said, it's a fun CD to listen to, and it contains the essential Status Quo songs, which in this CD's case is the first 4 or 5 songs. So that's a wrap, folks. We've reached the end of our captivating CD review journey. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell, so you never miss out on our upcoming reviews, etc. Trust me, you don't want to miss them. This is Classic Reviews. Check out 2 videos at the end, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.